Get on with it. Yes, get on with it.
A few moments later.
Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Sports Church brought to you by Barracks Party Media. I am your host, Friar Mini, aka John Cremering. I'm a United States Marine Corps veteran. 2311 was my MOS IOAs. Excuse me, I'm a card carrying member of the E4 Mafia, allegedly, and one of the founding members of Barracks Party Media. All right, so we got a lot to unpack in a short time to do it, and we're missing some people, so we're going to be flying by the seat of our pants, which is, hey, that's kind of how we roll anyways. First on, first up, I'm going to bring on Pops. We call him Pops because he's my Pops. He's been in the auto racing business for 50 years, so we know no other person really to talk so eloquently and accurately on the subject of auto racing and all that it entails. Without further ado, please welcome to the altar of competition, Reverend Pops.
Good evening. And this is an interesting studio today.
Yeah.
I've got the sun is coming down, and as it comes down, it comes straight into the windows. So I don't know how I'm going to get the light right, but we'll keep working on it, and we'll see how it goes.
No worries. So, good day of racing today. Actually, we still got NASCAR going on as we speak, right? In Chicago.
They're trying. They're having all issues with rain and starting and stopping and putting on rain tires and put on slicks. So it's a confused mess, which is what Chicago is all about. So
Exactly.
I mean, the fact that you're racing in Chicago tells you it's going to be weird, and it's living up to its reputation.
Yeah, well, they're not just racing in Chicago; they're racing in Chicago. This is a street race, correct?
Yeah, yes. Street race on the downtown streets of Chicago. I mean, they're racing in the heart of Chicago. I mean, right along the Lake Michigan. It's wild what they're doing, and it's really a good layout. But the rain doesn't help anything, I guess is the best way to explain it.
No, I can imagine it's a little screwy. But oh, look, so we did pick up somebody else, thankfully. He's a United States Marine Corps veteran as well. He hails from the great state of Wisconsin, which is where I hail from. Beautiful state. He's been a co-host of The Bar, which will be making a return here fairly soon, maybe a week or two. But his MOS was comms, so kind of not our favorite people. Always giving you dead batteries and shit. But without further ado, and I always forget. I don't forget this, but I mean to tell you that if you're listening with earbuds or headphones or anything like that, make sure that you give a brief second to pull those guys away because he has I love it, but unique sign on. So without further ado, please welcome to Sport Church, Mr. Pterodactyl. Shit. What's up, man?
Not much. Got word from our special guest that's going to be coming on. He's about 15 minutes out, so we should have him coming up too.
I really want to talk. Yeah, I really want to talk to him about that fight, man. Like, I mean, the main card, the highlight. Oh my God, me and it's a great thing now about sort of kind of getting into the home, and we're kind of set here now. Finally, me and Pops watched the fights on Saturday night now.
Yeah, and we came up with a completely different decision.
Yeah, we were fucking floored by that decision. But I mean, Pops, if you want to go right into it, if you're ready, might as well do a little auto racing because we're waiting on our special guest. So
all right, well, we can do that. Today is an awesome day for racing. It starts off with the Silverstone race in Formula One, and amazingly, we had a really, really unique winner. Now, it's not that he's not used to winning. I mean, the guy is a 7-time Formula One champion. Hamilton has won joint 7 times Formula One championships. He's tied with Michael Schumacher for that 7-time championship and holds the record for the most wins, 104. He's got the most pole positions, 104 also, and podium finishes, 199 among others. So I mean, he is used to winning, but it's been 945 days since he's won. And that goes all the way back to the, what was it, 2021 Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. So, I mean, he's used to winning, but it sure has been a long time since he got around to doing it. But he brought the win home at Silverstone. Now, he's won that like 19 times.
Yeah, I remember you. In
Silverstone,
giving me shit this morning. Like, guess who won Silverstone? I'm like, hint, and you're like, he's won there before, and he's English. I'm like, Lewis Hamilton. You're like, yep. I'm like, no shit. All right, go, Lewis. Finally, there is my wife saying hi, and of course, I got to find that button. Where is my button?
My wife.
There we go.
Well, you know what's interesting. He announced that he's going to Ferrari next year, and he probably has as much chance to win Silverstone driving a Ferrari as he did driving the Mercedes this year. So Ferrari is looking pretty good in the standings. So it'll be interesting to see how things develop next year. Max Verstappen did come home in second place, and Verstappen is just walking away with the championship again.
Weird.
He is as dominant in the Red Bull this year as Lewis was driving the Mercedes. So, that's the way things go. If you got the car, it's you just walk away with stuff. So,
Right.
Verstappen, Lando Norris brought his McLaren home in third. Now, again, this is pretty unique. Remember, McLaren was diddly do last couple of years, but they have put their act together. And Oscar Piastri brought his McLaren home in fourth. So you had Mercedes, then Red Bull, then McLaren, and McLaren. So, to have those McLarens up in the front of the field is pretty awesome, to say the least.
Sure.
And then, let's see, Carlos Sainz came home in fifth, driving his Ferrari. So
he's still hanging in there. He's been around for a minute, so good for him. Good.
Yeah. So I mean, it is kind of unique in that you got some. It's really a mixture of teams being able to do it. Now the thing is that you had a combination of wet and dry racetrack, and so the guy that is the master of that is Lewis. I mean, there's nobody that can compete with Lewis when it is a wet track. And so Lewis was able to pull that off. And I mean, I think, John, you remember that when you and I were racing go-karts, I just loved racing in the wet.
I hated it.
Even things out. And even though I was probably had 50 pounds on you as far as being in weight, it enabled me to get up there and run with you. So the wet track does definitely change your ability to race with the faster cars.
Yeah, what is that? I remember that we were in Georgia, I think, and it had rained that morning, and fucking you just saw a fun park. You're like, let's go kart racing. Pull over a fucking semi truck, hop out. We go there. There's nobody there. It took us like 10 minutes just to get somebody to open up the track for us. Then we get on there, and I've been driving go-karts for a minute, but never driven on the wet track. And, I struggled, man. I was struggling. I just didn't. What sets apart somebody who can drive in the rain and somebody versus can't? Is it just driver skill level bottom line, or is it some guys who are just great at it?
No, you need to be very, very gentle on the throttle.
Yeah.
And very predictable as far as braking, so that you're not braking as you're in the turn.
Right.
You got to get the brakes on first, then make the turn, and get on the throttle very, very slowly. It's just being very gentle with the throttle and with the steering and with the brakes. It's totally different. I mean, and you don't want to race the same line you race in the dry, because that's where all the oil from the cars is. And so oil and water doesn't mix at all.
No.
And so and that becomes very slippery. So you generally end up running around the outside of the track. And so your apexes are completely different. And you got to do that so that you can make the turns. And somebody that is not doing that will be on your inside, and they'll be spinning the tires, and you just got to put around the outside of them. It's fun, to be honest with you, because you become so much faster than the guy that's got the fast car. I guess that's the best way to explain it.
Gotcha.
Anyway, the racing at Chicago is again halted because of rain, and so they're doing all kinds of interviews with the drivers. SVG, the driver from New Zealand that won the race last year, just got punted off the track. and so he is not going to repeat win. As a matter of fact, he didn't do anything particularly outstanding yesterday in the Xfinity race. I think he finished like 18th or something like that. The race he won last year, I mean, it stunned everybody in NASCAR.
Yeah.
He just outdrove everybody, and because it was a combination of wet and dry and all that stuff, he was able to dominate the field. And I don't know. He's doing okay in Xfinity, but he's not dominating the field like he did in the Cup Series last year. So, man, let's put it this way: he's not Superman,
Yeah.
but he is a good driver. How's that?
Nah, I'll take it. Yeah, that's fine.
Now, the neat thing is that you look at the IndyCar race, the field did have some unique findings. Nico Hulkenberg finished in 6th place, which is whoa. How did that happen?
Right.
And the guy that won the last race, who is George Russell, finished in 19th. He didn't even finish the race. He got crashed out. So, that's again, you win one and you lose a big one. So
right.
That is going to be, you just have to wait and see how you come out. There's going to be a bunch of changes in the drivers that are racing next year. Like I said earlier, that Lewis is going to go to Ferrari. The Ferrari driver is going to go find another ride. They haven't announced anything as yet, but that puts somebody in position. The old man of racing, and I can't find him. I'll find him here. Fernando Alonso is leaving the Aston Martin team. I know he's lined up a ride for next year. I just don't have the actual announcement. It's like, remember I told you a couple weeks ago that Tony Stewart, Stewart Haas Racing Team is disappearing.
Yes.
There was also a rumor that Tony Stewart was getting rid of his sprint car track in Ohio and Eldora. And he just came out yesterday and said, no, that's not happening. He definitely will still have Eldora, and that maintains the history of Eldora. I mean, Herb Altus ran that track for years, created some, big dollar races for sprint cars and for dirt cars. And Tony said that he's going to continue that when he bought the track. And so far it's been that way. So Tony's not thoroughly disgusted with racing. I really think he got thoroughly disgusted with NASCAR and said, I don't need this mess anymore.
Yeah.
He had sold one of his spots on NASCAR for a little over $20 million, excuse me.
Yeah.
So his charter has gone to a team that is just expanding. So $20 million later, they got a spot in every future race in NASCAR. So that's the weird thing. NASCAR has not decided what the heck the deal is with charters, and they haven't announced it. They said they're going to do it, but now Tony's able to sell one charter for $20 million. So
it's just,
I don't know. I just wish NASCAR could get their act together and figure out what exactly they're trying to do. We leave the world of Formula One and go to IndyCar, which had a unique race today because it was almost 3 years ago that IndyCar said that they were going to get into the hybrid engine territory and have, a way, they've had their push to pass system to give the teams a bonus or a way to get a little bit extra horsepower to enable passing and so forth. But they've always wanted to get into the hybrid system where you got electricity generating going into a battery system, and then at the push of a button could be added to the car's engine power and stimulate the push to pass. And this system that they've developed will add up to 160 horsepower and that push to pass setup. So it is a significant system. They did develop it, and it was originally scheduled or supposed to start at the beginning of the season. However, they delayed it and said, no, we're going to wait to start it in the second half of the season because they weren't sure how it would work at Indianapolis, and they didn't want to, screw with the spectacular settings of Indianapolis and have something go wrong with this at the start of the season. So they put it all off and set it to go ahead at Mid-Ohio, which is where that is today. It worked fairly well. I haven't heard the final results of every team. However, the only thing that was obvious was that Scott Dixon, who did not qualify all that well, but he was mid-pack, was not able to start the race. And everyone is automatically saying, well, it's the hybrid system that screwed up, but they don't know exactly what. I mean, they haven't announced what the problem was. And if it is the hybrid system, I've got a feeling they'll announce that it was some little part that screwed up because they won't admit they don't have anything together. So other than that, it was a very, very good race. And amazingly, the Irishman came home a winner. The Pato Award, the Irishman from Mexico, brought home a win. And he was followed by the two-time champion, who was really, really putting on a press on Pato the last probably 15 laps. And I mean, they were probably within a half second of each other all the time. It was interesting to watch. Pato is an excellent driver in the lead. I mean, he knows how to protect his lead, and he did an awesome job. They even got into some slower traffic, and he really had to protect himself because neither one could go as fast as their cars were capable. And he did pull it off. The Penske driver that McLaughlin did come home in third, so that was interesting to see the Penske driver come in. So you got Pato Award and a McLaren, and then the second place. My goodness gracious, I can't find it on my page. But anyway. Come on, computer. The terrible. Get rid of this. Get rid of the NASCAR race on my screen so I can see what's going on here. Anyway, it shows that there was, if you remember, there was very, very strong competition for the drivers. Let's see. We'll get this come up here. I can't find my winner schedule. Come on. But he was involved with the battle between Chip Ganassi and the McLaren group. McLaren was trying to grab him to take him to Formula One, and they just couldn't work it. And they were suing each other. it's typical racing in that the one team is suing because the other team won't let him loose, and the team that won't let him loose is suing the other team because they're trying to steal him. And they eventually settled it out of court. And this has gone on for 2 years. So we'll all wait and see what all happens. Now, we are on the page that shows the winners. However, the page is blank. Let me see if I can get something else up. Race. There we go.
Killing me, Smalls.
We could bring our guest in while you're looking things up.
Oh, you got our guest? Let's go to it.
Yeah, he's backstage.
Go ahead, T. Introduce.
All right. Well, we've got our retired MMA friend, fought Bellator. It's been all over the place since the last time we've seen him. So welcome the War Rhino.
What's up,
man?
What's going on, guys?
Not much. You were at the fight last night, huh?
Oh yeah, I was there.
Oh shit, man!
You've been everywhere. I've seen you've been at Mar-a-Lago and over in where was it? Where'd you do that seat pack at? That was over
Hungary.
Austria or something.
Hungary.
So
Yeah.
nice. you've been all over the place since you've been last on with us.
You can say that.
How's the back doing? I know last time we talked to you, you had been rear-ended by that truck or your neck. Yeah, that messed that all up.
It's doing better, going through rehab and physical therapy and stuff. So, what are you gonna do? Keep trucking.
And those dogs are going crazy upstairs for me. I'm sure you can probably hear it.
All right, man.
Little yapping bastards.
All right, T. Walk us through the fight last night. Go for it.
Man, so we ended up. I'm good friends with the Stockton guys, the whole crew. So the Scrap Pack is good buddies of mine. And if anybody doesn't know who the Scrap Pack is, that's Nick and Nate Diaz. You got Gilbert Melendez, Jake Shields. They're just the original OGs of the FAFO boys. I like to call them. They originated FAFO. And essentially, Jake and I went to an autograph signing with Gilbert Melendez yesterday for Represent Clothing over in Foundation, Los Angeles. We went and took care of that. And we were like, oh, we'll show up, around 6:30. It'll be good. We started driving up to the Honda Center at 5:50. Three of the 5 parking lots were completely sold out already, anywhere near it. And we had VIP, which is insane. They were like, yeah, you got to go around. Finally got into the arena. When upon entering, I had never seen that much hype around an undercard for any fight. One of the promoters of the arena said at conclusion of the undercard going into the main card, there was already 10,300 people in seats, which is insane.
Yeah, I watched some of the prelims on YouTube, the free stuff, and the crowd was already pretty packed for a lot of those fights.
Yeah. I mean, you got to figure it sold out 18,300 or something like that. So you got to figure over 50% was there for prelims is insanity. You got Chris Avila versus Anthony Pettis was on the main card. That was a brawl. Obviously, I'm a big fan of the Pettises. I've trained with the Pettises with the MMA, but I had to go with Chris. I had to go with Chris with that one with the 209 and the Stockton boys. I didn't want to get stabbed by my friends, but no, this.
That's Stockton, man. That's Stockton. That's a different breed.
Oh, amen. But as you saw, I was front and center. I was front row. I think I could have probably reached out and touched the ring. It was pretty cool to sit there with, the hierarchies and, the who's who. I mean, we had Rampage Jackson was right next to me. I had Jake Shields. We had, Gilbert Melendez, Kerry Melendez. We filled up the whole first row and people were like, who in that? Like, nobody wanted to get near our row. It was funny. And then the head coach of the 49ers was right behind us. So it was a crew. We were there, and just such nice people. We ended up watching the Chris Avila fight versus Pettis, and Pettis just looked off. Just being honest, like Pettis looked very off in his fight. Chris was just putting 3 to every single punch Pettis could send back. You could see the worry and frustration in Duke Rufus's face. Just being like, yo, come on, like send something back. Pettis is a great competitor. I think he's got a lot left in the tank, but Chris is a legit boxer and people just don't put it, give him the credit. Hey, it's not out to both, they stepped in there, but obviously, Sugar Shane Mosley's son fought on the card last night. He got cut open pretty damn good. He got that overhand and it caught him right on the upper eye. You had Ryan Garcia's younger brother fight on the card. Ended up losing. Stoppage, man. But you want to talk about one of the most humblest losses. He said, hey, it happened. I saw him in the back. They had a VIP area for, people with credentials. And he came in the back and I was like, hey, man, can I get you a shot? And I'm back there with Ryan Garcia. I had a whole conversation with Ryan. Totally mellow, totally everything. I sent it to my girl at the time, and she's like, wait. I was like, what? She goes, who is that? And I go, that's Ryan Garcia. She goes, who is that? And I go, boxer. So she Googles him. Don't ever Google people I send you. And she Googles. And the first article says Ryan Garcia going to or checking himself into rehab after being banished from the WBC. And I was like, and she goes, he's supposed to turn himself in on Thursday. And she goes, you're doing shots with him? And I was like, yeah, here we go. And she's like, oh God. She goes, that's the shit you would do. And I was like, well, I'm giving him a sending off gift, if you will. And we're in the back with Bobby Green, who fights in the UFC less than a month. Absolute savage. He's back there, and Rampage was making fun of him. Bobby Green wanted to put hands on freaking Ryan Garcia for the hard R's of life, and then it was a great. But the main event, everybody really wants to know. When they announced, it was main event time. You have never seen a more electrified. I've been to UFC events that haven't even been this electrified, and you got 2 absolute gangsters of the sport. All hats off to Jorge Masvidal and to Diaz brothers. They walked out, and Nate said, "Hey, Nate came out in his typical Stockton. I was with Nate right before he left the hotel room with him, Jake Shields, and his team. And Nate, I love Nate, but he introduces himself every time to me. It's really funny. And I was like, all right, bro.
I know you already, man.
And I looked at
this every time.
Yeah, but he looks at me and he introduces himself. I go, Nate. And he goes, oh, sorry. You just get in that zone, right? And he's just like shaking. He's used to shaking hands. But we walk out, and everybody goes, and we're all there with the owner of Represent, who is huge as the Stockton crew, and we're there, and that crowd, you have never seen a crowd more filled with people wearing black shirts and blue jeans, ready to fight everybody in the crowd. And there was no crew to fight because Jorge didn't really come with a crowd. I think out of the 18,000 change, there was probably 17,500 of just Diaz fans.
Sure.
And there was one guy that just kept yelling, F you, George. And he was like, he had the loudest F you, George I've ever heard in my life. And he kept calling him George instead of Jorge, which was hilarious. But hey, it is what it is. But they had the fight was good. I had it personally. I had it 7-3 at the end of it. And that's not being like, oh, I'm friends with Diaz, nothing. I had it 7-3. It could have went 6-4 with one round, but and it came out and they said draw. The first judge said draw, and you should have saw the arena. Gilbert Melendez leaned over to me and he goes, if they make this a draw, this place is about to burn to the ground. And they're going to lose. And he goes, there's not enough cops in this arena. It was bad. And you see security. So they, you guys have seen cages. They have the three judges around the boxing ring. They said draw. They started rushing the referees and the judges.
The judges.
They were rushing them out before they would read the second judge's scorecard because they had no idea. So they read it, and the second judge had it 8-2, which was kind of wild. I had no idea where the heck he got 8-2, and then the third one had it 7-3, which was very valid. And then we went in the back, and Nate, in typical Nate form, we went in the back, and we were in his locker room. As on videos on my Instagram, we're in the locker room, and he has a private DJ. He goes, "Can somebody turn that shit on?" He sparks a joint, and the athletic commission wasn't even in there yet, and he starts smoking a joint and hits a live DJ. It was like, and they had to ask us to turn it down twice because we were too loud for the press conference that was 2 doors down. And you got a whole crew. You don't tell that crew to calm down. Or it doesn't go well. And then so the promoter screwed up. The promoter put us all at the JW Marriott. And I don't think the Marriott was ready for that many Stockton supporters to come back and tear up the bar at that time. And but it was such a great event. Great. Saw the clown show. Jake Paul made fun of Diaz this morning, saying he doesn't. Yeah, he's saying he doesn't. He's such a joke because he turned down $15 million to fight in the PFL, which was a joke anyways. I saw, Jorge begging for a trilogy. Diaz, at this point in the career, and it's funny, I had this conversation, Diaz is on top of the world again. I mean, he's always been on top of the world, but last night was a make or break moment, and he proved to the world that, with real training. So for Jake Paul, he didn't really train. With real training, it's Diaz that we all know. He's willing to, put it in your face and walk forward.
The one thing that I commented on all evening was he's slapping. None of his punches really had the power to it, but he was scoring by the slaps.
Yep.
I mean, it was like an amateur round or amateur bout where they're just counting the punches and they're not clarifying whether it had any effect at all because he just kept slapping them in.
Well, so judging in boxing or MMA, you got to do is touch him. You just got to touch him. So yes, Jorge, and you got to give it to Jorge. Jorge was putting hands on him and getting some great punches. I'm telling you right now, there were some times when Diaz had his head snapped back. All credit to Jorge. Vice versa, there was times that Jorge had his head snapped back.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm with you. Diaz was putting a lot of hands on him, but he was also, look at the ring control. Diaz was walking him down the whole night. Jorge, I think, walked him down 2 or 3 times, and those were the rounds I actually gave him, is walking him down. You got, ring control is a big one. So, yeah, no, I'm with you on that.
All right. I was going to do this with Pook, but he's not here. So
yeah, he just texted me he should be on soon.
Oh, should I wait to do the thing? Yeah. The thing I was going to do, I give you so the bit that we were going to start was I'm going to put somebody on the clock. I'm going to give you 60 seconds. I'm going to give you 6 to 7 hints on who this person is. And if you get it right, great. If you don't, no big deal. But if you do get it and you do get the person, you get to nominate somebody else to get pinched by me or vice versa. But if Pook's going to be here, he's going to make it. Then I'm going to.
He slept through his alarm, apparently.
Yeah, and then some, because I called him like 5 times. The fight, I was a little shocked. I didn't think Nate pulled it off. And I said something to Pops. I'm like, what do you think? What do you think? And he's like, I'm like, I don't know either. Like, it just wasn't a very convincing win for me, but I don't know boxing as well as like Muay Thai or MMA. I watch a lot more of that, but I know with boxing, a lot of it too is graded on defense and ring control. So it's not always how much damage you're seeing being dealt out.
There's
Right.
a lot more that comes in the boxing.
We all want to see the crushing blow, the knockout, he's hurt, and we got a lot of that in the prelims. We got a lot of that in the not the main card, but there was who was it that was great? Was it Duran's kid fight? Yes, that fight was great.
They beat the brakes off one another.
Yes, they did. It was awesome.
Like my body watching it, my body was hurting. Like those body shots, Duran's kid was landing.
Yeah,
and the other guy's like, bam, body shot, bam, like upside the hell. Like, whoa, dude. Like, yeah, there's
a liver shot in there, and I remember the commentators on the broadcast were like, if you've never gotten a liver, you don't understand what it feels like until you take the liver. You just can't until it actually happens to you, and it is one of the most painful things. I'd rather take one in the fucking eye, the chin, than get hit in the liver. I got it one time in Tijuana, and I still I saw it, and I'm like, oh, I went right to it. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, no, I got knocked out. I mean, my fastest loss ever was 38 seconds. That was against Aaron Pico, and that was a body shot. He one shot to the liver, it broke 4 ribs and lacerated my liver.
Wow.
And that's one body shot. And I have never peed blood like that before. It was the absolute worst. It was just crap. Insane.
I love the phrase, I never peed blood like that before, which means you peed blood before, just not like that.
Just not like that.
That's why it's fun having fighters on the show.
Yeah, now I'm going back to my liver, like, okay, maybe we need a new subject. Like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was all bad. Like, all bad.
It was a great fight. We started watching it. We started watching the prelims, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm finally back into the fight game a little bit now that I'm settled again. I don't know. Anybody else have any thoughts about that whole night, that whole card, the Diaz decision, anything like that?
Well, it kicked off. I know in the first prelim, you had a undefeated fighter came in 5-0, 5 knockouts, and he's fighting a guy that only had, 2-7 coming into the fight. And,
is that the gun fight? The gun?
Yeah, Dunn got knocked out in the second round. He gassed out. He threw everything into that first round, and you could tell midway through the second round, it's like he does not have stamina. He's got to work on his stamina because when you have 5 knockouts, you've never gone deep into a fight.
Right. Which is so funny about Nate.
Round, it was just, he's got nothing in the tank.
That's so funny about Nate, and I don't get it. That motherfucker smokes more weed than Snoop Dogg, but he's got the best cardio in the game. And everybody talks about it. I'm like, how the hell how does that work?
Yeah. Well, between him and Nick, they're just absolutely insane. And last night, right before I left, I was driving home. I posted, our pictures, and people were like, "Whoa! You were in the locker room?" And then, apparently, I showed up on pay-per-view a bunch of times, through the video screening because I was right up front, then with the DS crew, and I didn't realize the cameras were in the locker room, and they're like, "Dude, what the heck?" People were like, "I thought that was you." I was like, "Oh yeah, that was me. How you doing?" And they, they're all calling me Jake Shields' little poster boy. It was right, because me and Jake are really close, but obviously they're going to give Jake here. This is the best video. Where is it here?
Hey, who was that young kid, the 18-year-old?
Jesus, just right away, just fucking fight.
Yeah, that's literally right after he wins. He runs the locker room, doesn't even do his medical checks, and he smokes a joint.
If you put that in the sports church chat, we could pull it right up on this. Screen too.
Oh my God, that is so funny. To the Chris Benoit, our legendary Canadian Terminal Lance, the Diaz Bros do triathlon training for fun. Yeah. I don't get it, man. I ran 3 marathons, 2 of them at Camp Hilton, 1 in San Diego, and every single time I thought when I got done I was gonna die. I was just like, fuck. This is everything hurt. Everything, my toe hurt, my fucking earlobe hurt, everything. And these guys do that, and then they go and fight. I'm like, different kind of fucking person, man. Like, just totally different kind of person. It's amazing what he does, and I can't wait. Can't wait for more, man. I can't wait. I love the Diaz brothers. I love the Stockton crew. I love my favorite guy that does baseball podcast is Dallas Braden, who's a Stockton boy. His Instagram is 209 Mayor. So yeah. Oh, you're gonna pull it up? Cool.
I got Crutch here with Nate Diaz after the fight.
Oh, we just lost.
We lose Shane Wallace.
Yeah, we did.
Well, I was pulling that up. We lost. Okay, there he is. I think he's.
I'll add him back. There you go.
Stupid touch screen computer.
That's me and Nate. Right as soon as the fight ended, we were in the locker room, and just he comes up, and I was like, "Oh, can I get a picture?" And he's like, "Absolutely, dog. Let's do this." I was like, I just wanted to get him before he had a joint in his mouth.
Who was that 18-year-old kid? They had like 150 wins or whatever.
Yeah, that kid was wild. I don't know who the kid is, but jeez. He
had some power in his punches, and he's quick.
And he was swinging.
Yeah.
The Sugar Shane's kid, when they came out, it wasn't Sugar Shane. It was I forgot whose son it was, but they came out and they fought. The guy came out and he was swinging against Ryan Garcia's brother. I mean, you thought I was like, dude, this pace will never last. And sure shit, I mean, he stopped Ryan Garcia's brother, but he didn't need it to last. Insanity.
I was watching some Muay Thai fights last night. They had a heavyweight Muay Thai fight, which you barely ever see this.
I've never heard
kilogram.
Okay.
The pace on this fight was insane. These guys were just. It didn't look like they really knew what they were doing, but they were just throwing bombs. And this big tattooed Australian guy knocked this little, like, shorter, chubby Thai guy down like twice in a row. And then the Thai guy gets up and he just all of a sudden, like, dynamite in a fist, puts the Australian on his back. And it's like, what is going on? And it was just the first round. And there was like 3 more knockdowns in that fight. It ended up going to distance. I couldn't believe it. But like, heavyweight Muay Thai, this needs to be a thing. I want to see more of these fights. It was insane.
Did you end up seeing? Did you see my post last night on the drive home, Joe?
No. Is it on Instagram or Facebook?
Yeah. Well, I put it on both. So I left. I dropped everybody off at the hotel, and Nate was doing his thing, and I ended up leaving because I had to drive back from Newport Beach to San Diego, and I'm by Camp Pendleton, just dead stop. There's an accident or whatever. Minding my own business, and all of a sudden, this motorcyclist, a 20-year-old Marine, decides to smoke the back of a car right next to me.
Oh.
I watch him somersault over the car. His motorcycle veers off of the Mustang and smashes into my F-250. Like,
oh shit!
Yeah.
Is this in your stories?
Yeah, it's in the stories. It says not how my night to go.
Fucking Marines.
Yeah.
All right, let me see. I'm gonna go through your stories right now and see if I can.
Yeah. 20 years old. Yeah, I ran up to him, and I'm the only one. Everybody's trying to have this guy stand up. I'm like, lay your ass back on the ground. Yeah. I mean, you just got him, and he ended up shattering his femur. But yeah, he was upset. They're like, dude, we just left base. We're just trying to ride to Oceanside. I was like, well, you're not going anywhere anymore. Your motorcycle's underneath my F-250.
I think I found it.
Yes.
Holy shit.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
So
it's messed up.
Next week, we have a UFC fight card. And I just pulled it up, and my wife is on the main card. She is the main event. Oh, my girl. Rose is back fighting Tracy Cortez. What do you think about that, War? I mean, Rose hasn't fought. I haven't seen her fight in a while.
Wait, no, this is the guy that hit me real quick. Look at his screen.
Oh, hold on. Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm like walking around. I'm like, that's not how I needed my night to go.
Jesus.
He had a shadow his femur. But yeah, he was upset. Dude, we just left base. We're just trying to ride.
Damn.
So bad. So dumb. No brains, no pains. I called this command today, Terrell. I called this command today, and I go, hey, I found your Marine, but he broke his femur. And they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, but he didn't give me his insurance information, so I'm going to need that.
Oh, God. He's going to get so much shit. So much shit. First sergeant is already.
Oh, man.
God damn it.
And how I identified myself, I was like, I'm retired Lance Corporal Shane Crutchin. I'm just a wounded Marine that got, I just parked on the highway, and your guy was acting like a jackrabbit, driving his motorcycle crazy, breaking a bunch of laws, driving up the emergency lane, and then he cut over and smoked 3 cars. And the duty goes, excuse you? And I was like, yeah, you heard me. And oh yeah, and so, yeah, that guy's screwed. But no, to go back to your Rose thing, I think it comes down to what Rose shows up. What Rose shows up? Is it the Thug Rose, or is it just Rose shows up? Right. Thug Rose shows up, anybody in her way, including men, are screwed.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love it.
She's got some danger in her hands when she shows up in the Thug Rose mode.
We need Thug Rose. We need her to shave her head again.
Yes.
We need Pat to make her cook some extra dinners or something. Whatever she does to get in that mindset, because you see Pat Barry and he's always like, oh, happy, and then there's Rose, and I'm like, yeah, we need that Rose.
Yes. I want my thug. I love my thug.
We need that chick that you think is going to stab you for looking sideways at the dishes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
We tried to light up last night. Anybody know? Yeah, Carrie Melendez. She fights for Bellator. Gilbert Melendez's wife. And we were trying to. We were making a joke, but we were kind of serious. Anybody saw the press conference where that streamer Neo made a bunch of jokes? And like started a fight with Nate Diaz. So we were trying to get a fight. We were like, let's line up a fight. Kerry Melendez versus Neo.
Speaking of Gilbert Melendez, I was going to ask you earlier, we were talking about the Anthony Pettis fight. Is there still beef between Melendez and Pettis, or is that all kind of...
Let's just say friends. They're not hanging out.
Right. Well, I don't think they're hanging out, but, it seemed like they wanted to kill each other when they were doing the Ultimate Fighter and whatnot.
Let's just say they're not exchanging text messages. Nor are they following each other on Instagram.
So he was pretty happy to see Pettis lose then, I'm guessing.
He trains Chris. He trains with Chris. He is a diehard Chris fan. And he already knew what Pettis brings to the table, by fighting him and everything like that. Pettis has good hands, great hands. But I think Pettis does better when he has kicks behind it, and Pettis does better when he has takedowns behind it, and it's not taking anything away from Pettis. Again, he's a dangerous athlete. He's a great athlete, bar none, 414 baby, but he's, I think he got outscored by a very good boxer that is so underrated and walked in there with zero shits to give.
Yeah, and I suppose
McGregor, who won $1.625 million last night on a $500,000 bet, he bet on Diaz.
Yes, he did. Connor did. He bet $500,000.
Yeah, I suppose anybody coming out of Rufus Sports is going to be doing better with kicks added in too, because that's kind of a big kickboxing academy.
Big time. They got boxing as well. There's only been one. There's been some people out of there that are just great. You look at Gerald Mershart. Still being a savage in the sport. These guys are just wild when you're watching them, and you watch this, and Sergio Pettis is still at the top of his game, still like competing with the best in the world. So I love it. And I do see, you guys know Nick is fighting in Saudi Arabia. Nick Diaz. He's back on the UFC card in Saudi Arabia coming up. He was not present last night because he is training. I think the UFC is doing Tony Ferguson dirty, but with his matchup, I don't think they did him any favors for a swan song per se. But I think it should have been Nick Diaz versus Tony Ferguson would have been the most ideal send out for both of those fighters.
Hell yeah.
Speaking of a swan song, I saw that Andrei Arlovsky kind of retired, and they didn't. He fought last weekend, lost by split decision, and then they didn't do any of the laying the gloves down or nothing like that at the end. Just all of a sudden, it was kind of a social media thing, like, oh, Andrei Arlovsky's no longer employed by the UFC, and it's like, he's been in the sport for 24 years. How did we not do like a big send-off for this guy? But
you get Michelle Watterson. I mean, as gorgeous as she is, and I don't care. Michelle that's she's got her own things. But she, unfortunately for her, she was 1-7 in her last 8 fights, and she gets this huge video monologue and starts crying all over the shoulders and like being coddled by Joe Rogan. And Joe Rogan, I don't know if you saw his awkwardness. He's like, "Why the heck are you doing this? Like, my wife will stab me." And I love Joe, but Michelle Watterson, like, she's done some great shit in the sport. She was a pioneer, and she did do a lot for women's mixed martial arts. But, dude, Andrei Arlovsky, bro. That's freaking Andrei Arlovsky.
Yeah.
He's been in the UFC since 2000. That's 24 years.
He was not in for almost 5 years. Remember, he refused his contract, and then he went to Affliction for a while.
I forgot about that.
A lot of people.
I did forget about. Well, that might explain then why he didn't get the send off.
Yeah, he didn't do 24 years straight. I mean, but that doesn't diminish. He's the second most ring time ever in the UFC, second most knockouts ever in the UFC, second most wins ever in the UFC. Like, what the heck?
Yeah.
All right. I don't know.
I don't know what's going on either. He texted me a while ago. He's like, "I'll be on ASAP," and he's still not here. I don't know what's going on.
All right. I tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna bounce to do my smoke break, and I bet you that son of a bitch shows up. If he does, put him on, and then say some mean things to him, and I'll put my Yankee hat on just to give him some shit. But I'll be right back, boys.
That's fun. Yeah, I saw that last week. Mitty wore the Yankee hat for the episode again too, just because Pook always gives him shit about.
I got to run out to soccer with my little one, bud. So.
Oh, I totally understand. Thanks for joining us, Jade. I appreciate having you on.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
All right, take care. Oh, that was fun having him on. So yeah, Pops, did you guys check out the one card at all the night before, or no?
Yeah, John was outside having a cigarette when they announced he was going to be on, and I go, "John, Wisconsin's on, John."
Yeah. Did you see any of the one card on Amazon at all during the weekend?
No, I didn't get a chance to do it.
Darn.
We're still moving in, and I'm going to tell you. Well, let's put it this way: I'm sitting in my room, and my desk consists of 3 boxes. Next to that are 2 suitcases. Next to that is a pile of dirty clothes and a basket of dirty clothes. So I had no bed. So it's an interesting trip, to say the least.
What do you do, like the mattress on the floor deal until you actually get a bed?
No, I'm sleeping on the couch out front in the
just the
living
couch. Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out too. We're trying to get my wife's dad over here, so we're gonna have to figure out what we're gonna do for sleeping arrangement once he does get here. So that'll be interesting. But yeah, I suppose last week I didn't really get to go through. We had the Stanley Cup finished up with the Panthers winning it, and then the AHL for a second year in a row, the Hershey Bears, the Calder Cup over the Coachella Valley Firebirds.
Yeah.
Actually, everything I was going to say about it, I pretty much forgot about, and I don't got any of my notes with me. So, but I at least should mention it.
Hey, our guy that you guys sponsored last year has got a full-time ride next year. So.
Oh, Blicky, yeah.
Yep. That's pretty awesome for him.
It's good for him. Yeah, he was at our go-kart thing again this year too. So didn't get to see him again this year. I didn't really get a chance to talk to him at all though. But it's always fun when we get to do that event. Out at Road America. And yeah, we got a whole bunch.
How many guys go to that when you have that event up in Elkhart Lake?
Well, the entire factory is invited to it, and it goes in like 2 different shifts. So there's like a morning group that'll go, and then like around lunchtime the other half come, and then those guys leave. And I was in the second group, so and they all went back to work while we got to be there until about an hour left in our shift. So it's the one nice day out of the year where it's like I don't really got to do any real work today. But yeah, we got a nice thing going on there at Road America because we provide a lot of the lighting for that course now. So while we were there, some of the guys that our installers were actually out there putting new lights up on the track.
Oh, really?
While the rest of us were out there. Yep. And I don't know when they have a race at Elkhart this year if you'll be able to see it, but some of the poles that our products on actually have our company logo on the poles.
Oh, yeah.
If you see the Will logo on one of the poles, and with that's one of the ones we put in, and I think it's got to be about the majority of the lights out there at Road America now.
Are they lighting the entire course? Are they lighting the entire course?
Yeah. Eventually, I think we will be doing. Everything that is replaced out there will be done. By us,
that is a monster course. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah,
4.5 miles. Geez, so cricket.
Yeah. I'm not in the sales department, but yeah, I know like the owners of the company I work for, they've been. I think Randy used to drive out there, and I think he still does drive his. He's got like the old Hooters car that he takes out there and races around there every once in a while. But he's had stuff going on at Road America for years.
Oh, I just talked to Poog. Apparently, he clicked the wrong link. Hopefully, he clicks the right one. I might send it again. This guy's killing me. But as soon as he gets on,
looks like he's here. He got here too late though, because War Rhino had to leave. Now he had stuff.
I know. And big shout out, big love to War Rhino. I hope he can join us more for big fights. His insight and his inside knowledge is greatly appreciated and awesome. And I love how everything he said about the fights. I still disagree a little bit. I think Pops will back me up a little bit with the Diaz fight. I just didn't see Nate winning it that much. By that much. He
explained why.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Every one of the slaps counted and punched.
All right,
and that's all. I was really upset. I go, he's not boxing. He's just slapping him.
Yeah,
and that's what he was doing. It was terrible.
But that's how you win it, I guess.
Yeah,
so there you go. Without further ado, he's a United States Marine Corps veteran. 2311 is his MOS as well. We served together at the all-inclusive resort with the most holistic company in Marine Corps history. 43-year Las Pulgas Ammo Company, part of 1st Supply Battalion, 1st Force Support Group, 1st Mart Div. Without further ado, please welcome the one and only brother Bishop Pook Dog. What's up, man?
No! He ain't no.
I don't have any audio. You guys can hear me?
I hear you.
Yeah, you can hear me. Thumbs up.
Yep.
I can't hear you. I don't know what the problem is. Let me try this again.
You can't hear us.
Let me jump off and jump back on.
All right, go for it.
Where the hell's your hat?
All right, Pook's gonna jump off. Yeah. Anyways, the next UFC fight night is next week. Of course, the main event is Rose, my girl Rose, versus Tracy Cortez. I feel for Pook now because I'm looking at the second welterweight fight, and fucking can't pronounce Santiago and Muslim. That's all I got for you. I can't pronounce those last names. Ponzabibio and Muslim Sakov. I don't know. Then Dober, Gene Silva, Gabriel Bonfirm, Angel Lusa, Julian Rosa, Christian Rodriguez, and this is a good one. Abdul Razak Al-Hassan versus Cody Brundage. Holy shit, Boog. I feel for you right there, man.
You're going to have all the Americans betting on him, I guarantee you that.
All right, Pook, how you doing, man? You got us?
Oh, man, I'm asleep, bro. I can hear you fine now. I can hear everything. I was asleep. Let me tell you.
Hey, are you ready, Pook?
You guys been doing the show for an hour, it looks like.
Yeah, I know. Are you ready for this? Because remember last week I told you I'm putting it on the spot. You got to guess who this guy is, right? Are you ready?
Okay, great, sure.
All right, here we go, man. All right, I was born.
You got to give me hints.
I didn't hear a word. What'd you say?
I was born on December 20th, 1964.
December 20th?
Yeah. In 1981, I won state as a wrestler for St. Joseph Catholic High School.
Okay.
I wrestled at Miami University and the Ohio State University. Any idea?
That sounds like you're talking about Mark Coleman.
Ah! There you go, man.
This is too easy. I told you if you do UFC Hall of Famers, it's not like doing Baseball Hall of Fame. The list is really short, man. The list is not like, okay, so 1964.
Well,
so now I know his age.
You want to know the rest of the hints?
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
Placed 7th overall in 1992 Olympic Games. Nickname is the Hammer.
Dude, we're done. We're done
first,
there.
That one pretty much everybody's going to get there.
First UFC heavyweight champion and the Godfather ground and pound was the final.
It's, oh my God. But that's just that, like, see, it's not like Baseball Hall of Fame. Like, I could literally grab some freaking baseball's been going on for 100 years too. Yeah. And there's a lot more baseball players in the Hall of Fame. I could grab some freaking goofy, obscure guy that is in there barely famous just because of his stats, and you freaking probably would struggle, man.
Well, they did that with Cy Young. It cracked me up. They got a picture of Cy Young talking, and they give all the stats, and no one gets it. And then they announce that he's Cy Young, and it's like, whoa.
All right, Pook. So you got it. And I kind of knew you were going to get it. I actually was going to try and throw a curveball because
that was a softball, bro.
Yeah, I know. I was going to try and throw some Connor shit at you just because you were expecting it. I was going to go a roundabout way about it, but
how much did Connor win last night?
$1.3 million.
Oh shit!
Yeah, like he needs some money.
I should have bet
500,000 to get that 1.3, right?
500,000 to get that 1.3. Yeah.
Wow. All right.
Yep. Pook, what do you think of the fight?
I thought that Masvidal might have won that fight if I was judging, but I don't have a problem with that decision because the volume of punches that freaking Diaz thrown. I mean, it's boxing, and boxing's judged differently. It's judged round by round, and the amount of punches you land. Have a look at Floyd Mayweather. He never lands a heavy shot ever, and he wins all his fights. Man, Diaz put up more volume, and I had him winning the first round. I had him win the second round. A lot of them rounds are close, man. It could go either way depending on how you're scoring the shit. Who landed the harder? If this was a playground test, right?
Yeah.
And who landed the harder?
Masvidal.
You want to know something? Even if it was on the playground, if this fight was on the playground, it wasn't even a boxing ring. If you were on Diaz's side.
Yeah.
You probably think Diaz won. And if you were on Masvidal's side, you probably think it's a very close fight, man.
Yeah.
Very close fight. That 10th round was very close, and they gave the 10th round to Diaz, man.
Yeah.
So, who landed the harder shots? We all know Masvidal did, but was Diaz ever really hurt? No.
Nah.
No. You could make that argument too, just the volume that Diaz was putting up. And the fact that, here's the crazy thing, like leading up to the fight, there's a lot of MMA fans, if you go on MMA, they were freaking lampooning Masvidal, talking about how fat he was and out of shape. I saw one comment that says, this guy doesn't even look like a professional athlete. He looks like a college kid that freaking doesn't even work out. And it's did you see his cardio? His cardio was he lasted 10 rounds with Diaz. Diaz put on the freaking volume, So I mean, these guys were in shape to fight. They both were prepared. Man, they both fought they both fought their fight. They both fought their fight. It's gonna be a lot harder for Masvidal to cut Diaz like he won. He won the last fight with a cut. It's gonna be a lot harder to do that with these freaking pillows they're using to fight with compared to the MMA. Well, I'm calling them pillows. I wouldn't want to get hit by either one of these guys. But compared to the MMA gloves, the standard MMA gloves, they are pillows, man. So, very exciting fight. I was surprised. I was surprised that they put on the show they did, man. What a fight, actually. Right. Yeah, a freaking hell of a fight. They sold out the Honda Center, right? I'm surprised. Like I have very little interest going into this, and if it wasn't a dead night for MMA, if we had absolutely nothing going on for MMA, I probably might not even have covered it. Like we've had other MMAers getting the boxing matches and stuff. We briefly just talked about it for like a second or two, and then moved on, or not even talked about it at all because these fights normally aren't exciting like this. That was an exciting fight, I felt like it was a hell of a fight, man. Honestly, I had me on the edge of my seat, honestly.
Yeah,
and I knew who won. I already knew who won. I already knew who won when I watched the damn thing. I already knew it went to a decision. I didn't know there was no, and I still watched it from beginning to end, like this. It was exciting fight, man. And, of course I'm rooting for Diaz. And, of course, I wished I would have put $500, let alone $500,000, pardon me, on Diaz. I've been, honestly, I would have bet, normally I love betting underdogs, and I would have bet Diaz as a small underdog here in this fight, but I've been running sour gambling lately, believe it or not. So I kind of backed off of doing any gambling on this. But what a fight! It's very exciting.
Yeah, well, I enjoyed it.
I was arguing with John that Diaz was just slapping. He wasn't punching.
Well, you're probably right. I mean, these were little pitter pat shots, but I mean. Yeah. Mayweather made his living doing that, but except he fighting with obviously a different, Diaz comes right at you with those little pitter-pat shots and gets right in your face and eats a lot of punches. Mayweather obviously gets out of the way of all the punches and lands those little pitter-pat shots. But, I mean, it's boxing. I mean, these jabs.
And that's what the fighter said. He said, look, a touch is a score. And whether it's a punch or it's a slap, it scores.
Yep, absolutely.
Right. I mean, this isn't the Pride. They don't have the Pride judging criteria, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Oh, right. You guys want to? I guess I got to go over a little bit of baseball, right?
Yeah. Why not?
Did you catch any of the one card?
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
No, I did not. I am a horrible one fan at this point. Did you catch the Darren Till fight?
No.
No, to be fair, I didn't catch that one, so there you go.
No, but Darren Till had a boxing fight of his own and punched the back of a guy's glove. The guy's holding his glove like this.
Yeah.
And he punched the back of the guy's glove. The guy faked a freaking rabbit punch. He faked a rabbit punch and went down and acted like he was injured and shit. They ended up giving Darren Till the TKO after they reviewed the tape. Very weird, man. Very weird. And if I was prepared for the show and I wasn't sleeping through it, I would have had some video of that. Honestly, I had all this stuff. I had some drunk guy in his backyard, right? I had an Instagram clip. I had some drunk guy in his backyard that had a little Irish guy in his backyard. He's going like this, shadow boxing, drunk off his ass. His buddy falls down. I was gonna say, hey, I got actual training footage of Conor McGregor again. He's back in camp. I was gonna show. I had all these ideas for the show today, and you gotta understand something. It's Miss Ellie's birthday.
Oh, okay.
Her air conditioning on her car went out. So I've been up all night, and I have her dashboard torn apart. So I got the dashboard torn apart. I'm troubleshooting stuff, and I'm trying to figure out what's wrong. I'm replacing perfectly good parts right now, and then
Yeah.
No, Miss Ellie's
air
a girl.
conditioning is kind of important in Arizona.
Oh, it's freaking 115 degrees, bro. So I'm doing. I obviously I worked all. I didn't get no sleep yesterday. I worked all night last night. And I set my alarm, and I got all your calls, and my phone's on. It's not like my phone was off. It was just in my dreams ringing away. I don't know. I was remixing the ringtone. I was remixing the ringtone in my dreams. You know, I mean, was not a man. Very sorry I didn't show up today, but I kind of did at the end. But looks like you had a great MMA segment anyway.
That was awesome.
You got War Rhino, you got T, you got a guy that's an expert in one. You know, you had a one card. You know, I know nothing about one. I just know they got some good talent over there. You know, and I know that they got more of the rules of the old Pride as well.
If you watch the second fight on the one card that was on Prime this weekend, you won't think they have great talent because they had two Senegalese wrestlers face off in a kickboxing match. And it's like, why are we doing this? And the one guy, Rug Omar Kane, he actually looked like he knew how to kickbox. He's actually got an MMA title shot coming up at heavyweight against Anatoly Malik. But for some reason, they had him do a kickboxing fight against this other Senegalese guy named Butcher Ketchup. And this Butcher Ketchup guy looks like he had no idea how to kickbox at all. He came out and pretty much tried to tackle Rug right off the bat, and the ref had to go, no, you can't do that. There's no clinching.
There's no clinching. There's not Muay Thai rules, huh?
Like, he goes out there to throw punches, and he's running and doing hammer fists. He didn't throw anything straight. He's running and punching at the guy like this. It's like, how is this a real fight? So besides that, it was a decent card. It was like that second fight of the night. It was like, this was a disaster. Why did we pick this fight up? If it had been an MMA fight, it might have been a good fight because they said the guy was a Senegalese wrestler. So I'm sure he's got some decent grappling. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think honestly, just hearing what you just said without knowing all the details or the facts, they did not want to make that an MMA fight because the Senegalese wrestler would have such an advantage.
Well, both of them are Senegalese wrestlers, though.
Really? Well, why didn't they just MMA? Why didn't they just let them MMA
That's
it up?
what I'm saying.
Why they just what the hell, man?
Both of their backgrounds were in Senegalese wrestling, but then this Omar Kane, he's got a title shot coming up at that one event that just got signed in Atlanta.
Why not just?
They're going to have the. Yeah, I'm like, why is this not an MMA fight? Because it was literally the worst. It was the worst kickboxing fight I've ever seen in my life.
That's saying a lot. Yeah, that's saying a lot. That's saying a lot because I know we've all seen some really terrible kickboxing matches, especially when it first started in the 80s. So, I mean, that says a lot if it's the worst.
You could tell. It was one guy that actually knew how to kickbox and another guy that was like, I'll take the payday. Do you know how to box? No, but I'll take the money.
Man.
Did you guys? Go ahead.
Otherwise, on that card, you had the number 5 ranked Muay Thai fighter out of Iowa, Luke Lessie. He got knocked out in the 3rd round. His
because he's from Idaho and he's fighting these guys. These guys have been practicing Muay Thai in Thailand since they were 6 years old, man.
Well, the guy that knocked him out was a French guy.
Oh God! Well, I really don't know what I'm.
He got
talking
knocked out
really.
by Bampara Coyote, which is a French Mali fighter.
Really?
So that was a big upset in there. Ty Ruotolo, the submission grappling champion at welterweight, had a catchweight fight against Joseph Chen out of South Africa. He's making his debut. The fight ended up going the whole 10 minutes. So for a debut fight going against the champion and going the distance is a pretty big deal. Ruotolo still ended up winning it off points. And then the number one bantamweight Muay Thai fighter, Nico Carrillo, the King of the North out of Scotland, defeat the number 4 ranked fighter, Sam Patek, out of the Fairtex gym in Bangkok. He ended up knocking him out in the second round. And you had an interim lightweight world championship fight while Christian Lee is out. Who's going to have the belt until he gets there? Well, Alibeg Rasulov was taking on Ok Ray Yoon. Rasulov did not make weight, so Yoon was the only one who could actually win the belt. And unfortunately, Ok Ray Yoon lost by a unanimous decision. I think they made the right decision on it. I thought that Rasulov won the first, third, and fourth rounds. Ok Ray Yoon won the second and fifth rounds, but going into that fifth round, he really needed the knockout and couldn't get it. But since Rasulov didn't make weight, the belt's still vacant. Rasulov did say when Christian Lee gets back, he wants to fight against him for the actual belt. I don't know how that works. I don't know how one views missing weight, because sometimes that can be held against the guy. But Rasulov still is undefeated, so
they have a little bit different weight criteria, right, with hydration and all that and everything. Is it harder to miss weight over there? I think it's harder to miss weight over there, right? Because it's geared more towards your natural weight, correct? So you're not cutting all these unnecessary pounds in, right? So, I don't know. Who knows what's going on with this guy? Who knows what really happened?
Yeah, the fight was in Bangkok. Yeah, I don't know what their rules really are there in Thailand for the weights, for the weight cuts, and what the rules for one exactly are. Probably would have been. I don't think Shane ever fought overseas with any of those organizations over there either, so he might not know either. But that might be a question the next time we have him on to ask.
I honestly believe they got like a hydration test, and it's supposedly closer to your natural weight, so it should be easier for these guys to make their weight cut. They shouldn't have much weight to cut, actually. Yeah. So that's odd that he missed weight. Who knows what happened, though? Who knows what went on?
Yeah, it's a possibility. I know when my senior year of wrestling, they started incorporating that too for wrestling, because you had a few guys die cutting weight, and then they started doing hydration tests when they did your body fat pinch test at the beginning of the year to make sure
that's
trying to cut to a weight and do.
That's a pretty big deal when you got high schoolers freaking dying, man. That's a pretty big deal. So I can understand why they changed.
Rasulov, yeah, Chris says here Rasulov. He is from Dagestan originally. He's actually fighting out of Turkey now, representing Turkey when he fights. But yes, he is a Dagestan guy. I think he does have some connections with Khabib.
The terrorist?
He does, yeah, right. The Dagestan.
Allegedly. Yeah. I heard now, I don't know how true this is because, how reliable the internet is. I heard that he is now like Khabib I'm talking about, fled Russian, is now a citizen of the United Emerald Emirates.
Yeah.
Emerald?
Wow.
And but they were coming after him. I guess they were coming after him big time for like tax evasion. He was gifted a whole bunch of property by Putin and all kinds of shit, and he was like a national treasure at one time. I mean, I still honestly believe, because I feel like you're innocent till proven guilty and stuff. I honestly believe that was just run rogue guy, inside of his gym that was involved in that, and it's
Right.
a pile-on. It's a pile-on, but yeah,
Right.
he supposedly he has fled Russia, he has fled Dagestan, and he is now in United Emirates, and he is now a citizen of the United. According to the
so
internet.
he's in Dubai.
According to the internet. According to the internet.
He's got himself a flat or something in Dubai.
Yeah, according to the internet, that's what's going on. Yeah, they're really Russia was really coming after him hard.
You hang out with some Hamas people, have a good time, throw a party.
I don't even know. I don't know. We know Habib's really religious, so I'm sure I'm sure some of those guys are in his circle, because the more fanatical you are with that stuff, the more fanatical you are with that stuff. But
Right.
I don't see Habib being involved in any terror attacks.
No,
I just don't see it.
All right, I gotta cover
real quick. I know you do, but real quick, did you guys talk about Hazmat Shemaev? Because this is interesting. You're going to hear about
I
this.
did not. Go ahead.
Okay, so Hazmat Shemaev goes on. Hazmat Shemaev goes on X, promotes a crypto coin called Smash. Right, bunch of his followers buy it, and then right after it tanks, goes right down to almost zero. Yeah. So he is like he's being shunned by the MMA community right now. It's an ugly scandal. It's a serious ugly scandal. I told you everything I know about it. So, and I mean, I can only report what I know, but that's what happened. That happened this week. That actually happened. Hazmat Shemaev got on Twitter. I heard the audio. He promotes this crypto coin called Smash. Right after a bunch of his followers buy it, the damn thing goes to zero. Near zero.
Jeez.
Near zero. Pardon me. Near zero. It goes to near zero.
Ouch.
Good job. Good job, buddy.
What a scam, I guess. Who knows? And here's the thing. Like, I don't know all the details. I'm not in Hazmat Shemaev's camp, and I'm not an enemy of Hazmat Shemaev by any means. Hazmat might have got scammed with this. You know, he might have thought it was a legit thing. Who knows? He might be the guy orchestrating the whole thing for all we know. He might be the mastermind. Who knows what's going on with that crypto scam? But
yeah, or he was just the Tom Brady to the
right.
Sam Bankman-Fried, who
right.
got to give him just hooked him in like, hey, you got a name.
Right. He's looking really bad now, though. He's looking
that
very
Matt
bad.
Damon commercial during the Super Bowl. Fortune favors the bold. Oops.
Yeah.
All right. So here's baseball in less than 12 minutes. The American League, Baltimore Orioles, man, took advantage of the Yankees just sucking. Orioles 7-3 in their last 10. Yankees 3-7 in their last 10. So the Orioles now have a 2-game lead, and everybody else is just playing catch. The Red Sox are 7.5 games back, which is funny. The Red Sox, 8 games over 500. 7.5 games back, though, but they're in that wild card spot, so we'll see about that. The biggest surprise, still to me, every week I see it, it just blows my mind. The Cleveland Guardians in AL Central, man, they are just rolling. Got a plus 96 run differential. Struggled a little bit because they've been playing some really, really good teams, but they got a 6-game lead over the Twins, and it's just everybody else, the Royals, Tigers, and White Sox, who the White Sox, are on pace to have a historically bad season. Like, they're going to make the A's a couple years ago look really good. They are just fucking terrible. They are 31 games back from the Cleveland Guardians in last place. Like, the AL West, Seattle Mariners, who fucking, this should tell you everything. They have a +5 run differential. They have a 2-game lead ahead of the resurgent Astros, but man, they can't score a fucking run. But their pitching is so good, and my AL Cy Young pick is picking it up. George Kirby is crushing. The last 7 games, he's got like a 1.25 ERA. It's awesome. The Houston Astros, who everyone, me included, were writing off. They're 7-3 in their last 10. They're coming up. They're getting healthy, and watch out. Texas Rangers, big disappointment. World Series champions last year. They just don't seem to have it this year, and I don't know what it is. A combination of things, I guess. the National League, the Phillies still in first place, 8 games above the Atlanta Braves, even though they've lost Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber to the All-Star break, possibly a little bit further than that. Those are just the 2 biggest names, but they would just get assaulted by injuries and still, hanging in there, 5-5 in the last 10. Got the second best run differential in baseball with a plus 109. The Braves finally start hitting, but man, they're playing for a wild card. They're playing for a shot in. There's no way they're going to catch the Phillies. The Mets, fucking Grimace. If you haven't heard this, look it up. Fucking Grimace.
Yeah, no, he's like the mascot of the team. Oh,
the mascot of the team, the New York Mets. Yeah, it's Grimace, and they went off on a hell of a run. Fortunately, Grimace is worn off a little bit. They're only 5-5 in the last 10. The Nationals are 15.5 back. Marlins are back there. In the NL Central, the Brewers still controlling it. You have 5-game lead over the St. Louis Cardinals. The Pirates behind Max Keller and Paul Skeens are 9 back. They're playing for a wild card. I don't know if they're gonna make it. It's we'll see. We'll see. I definitely will be rooting for the Buccos because as we go down the NL Central, you'll see why. The Cincinnati Reds are 42-48, 10 games back, 5-5 in the last 10. They do have a plus 14 run differential, which is second best in the NL Central. And then my Cubs, our Cubs, 41-49, 11 games back, minus 29 run differential, 4-6 in the last 10. And they lost one of their best relievers today. Anyone want to guess why they lost one of their best relievers for the rest of the year?
No idea.
Guess. He punched the wall and broke his fucking hand.
All right.
That happened to who was it? Somebody on the Brewers did that like 2 years ago. And then they tried to say he fell or something. And he punched the wall.
Yeah. It
might have been Devin Williams when he was still the setup guy to Josh Hader. I think that.
Okay. Yeah.
We should be getting him back soon from that broken back that he apparently had at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, what the hell was he doing? Fucking in a Volkswagen? I don't know.
I don't know.
To the NL West, the Dodgers, despite losing Mookie Betts, they are still, I think they have the second best run differential. Oh, I think they have the best, actually. Yeah, they do have the best run differential in MLB at a plus 111. They're 55-35, 6-4 in their last 10. They got a 7.5 game lead above the resurgent Padres. That's probably the scary. I think I talked about it a couple weeks ago. Scariest team that's not leading the division is the Padres. Man, they're hitting and they got fired up. Profar has been the vibes guy on that team, and they're just tearing up all of a sudden. It's crazy. The Diamondbacks, who were in the World Series last year, not doing well. 10.5 games back, 5-5 in the last 10. They have a net 0 run differential. Giants out of it. Rockies. I don't know what I say about the Colorado Rockies, man. But
say about it?
Jesus, they're just it's not only a hard place to play baseball, but when you run your franchise like a bunch of morons, it doesn't help either. They hold the record right now for negative run differential at minus 140, which doesn't make sense because if you had any decent, well, I guess it does, but if you had any decent players, they should be raking at home, right? I mean, just crushing the ball at home. I mean, the ball flies 17% further at Coors Field than it does at any other ballpark in the country, and yet they have a minus 140 run differential. It's just, God, who owns that team? And find out who it is and just, I don't know, shoot them because they're fucking, how fucking bad they are.
Baseball is not exactly a cardio sport like like soccer or boxing or MMA or whatever, right? But
Yeah.
you think that thin air would affect visiting teams. You really would.
Yeah.
You know, you think there'd be some kind of advantage there just because these teams have to come to that high elevation. You're not used to it. I mean, to perform at your best, you have to be able to breathe right, correct? You know, I don't know.
Sure. Yeah, no, and it is a thing. Like, I don't think you went when we went to Bridgeport to that cold weather Mount Warfare training. It was different. I was like, holy shit. I'm running and I can tell like I am giving it, but I don't have it. There's not that much in the tank. Like there is a lot to that. It's a very real thing, and also a thing. Pitching there is a lot harder. The air is thinner. The ball does not break as much. So I don't know, but
no, for sure. I went on a hike with a buddy of mine in Golden, Colorado, and it was a slow walk. And at the time, I wasn't in that bad of shape, and he kicked my ass, man. I mean, I was freaking huffing and puffing, and I think I might have puked one time. It's a different animal. It really is.
To stat leaders, let's go over a few.
I find it hard to believe that you didn't know whether you puked or not.
I can't remember whether I knew I was gagging. I can't remember if much came out. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You know.
Oh my god. So MLB stat leaders, just go over it real quick. As far as batting average, Stephen Kwan, who is just crushing it at 365. This guy was at like 398 and had a bad week and lost 30 points off his batting average. That's how hard it is to hit 400. Nobody's ever going to do it again. Nobody's ever going to hit 400.
Nobody,
ever. No way. Bobby Witt Jr. 320, Shohei Ohtani 316, Luis Arraez 315, and Jurickson Profar, the San Diego Padres 314. Pitching leaders, wins, Seth Lugo with 11, Chris Sale 11, Aaron Nola 10, and Ranger Suarez, who got beat up the other day a little bit with 10 home runs. Aaron Judge, the Judgy, 32 home runs, on pace to possibly break his 62 home run mark, the AL home run record. He might do it. If he stays healthy, he could do it. Shohei Ohtani's behind him with 28, which is just stupid. Just fucking Shohei. Just stop. All right? Just stop. Gunnar Henderson with 27, Marcell Ozuna 23, Jose Ramirez, the Guardians with 23 home runs. Irwin average, Ronaldo Lopez 1.171, Seth Lugo 2.21, Corbin Burns of the Orioles 2.32, and Ronaldo Blanco 2.53. Runs batted in, Aaron Judge, weird, 83. Jesus. What the fuck, dude? Like, we're like 88 games in-ish around there, so we're past halfway, but holy shit. If he keeps up that pace, think about it. It's like 150 RBIs. Like, what the fuck? Saves, Ryan Hensley with St. Louis Cardinals, 31. Yay. Emmanuel Chase with the Cleveland Guardians, 26. Hit leader, Luis Arraez with 118. Strikeouts, Garrett Crochet of the Chicago White Sox, who is for sure going to get traded, 146 Ks. Tyler Glasnow, the Dodgers, 143. Stolen bases. Pops, who do you think is still leading stolen bases in MLB?
I think it's that little guy that does funny rings around in shortstop position for the Reds.
The little guy? He's very, very, very tall guy. But yes, you're right. Elliot de la Cruz he's not short. No, he's a very tall man. But he's leading it with 43 stolen bases.
Well,
Coley starts Seth Lugo again with 15. And there you go. So let's go real quick. All-Star game.
Real quick, though, before you get into that, I have a question for you related to Ohtani. Okay. So obviously he's not pitching this year, right?
Yes.
Right.
That's due to an injury, right? That's due to an injury he's got?
Tommy John. His second Tommy John. Yeah.
So what happens in the postseason with him?
What do you mean?
Are they going to put him in the? Are they going to pitch him? I mean, it's a postseason.
No.
They're not going to throw him in like as a freaking.
No.
It's game freaking 7.
No. They
need him to win. They just bring him in as a closer. No.
He won't pitch until probably after the All-Star break next year.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how long it takes for Tommy John. Like
Tommy John was 18 months, right?
Yeah, generally 18 months, and they basically just take a fucking. They steal a piece of tissue and put it and reattach this right here. And it takes, trust me, just for my shoulder rehab, it's bullshit. It takes that long to rehab it back. And you push it and you're like, oh, I'm going to crush it. And all of a sudden you get a setback. And you have to kind of pull back a little bit. And then you go forward a little bit more and you push it too far. And then you got to roll back. So he's probably a lot smarter than me. Because he makes a lot more money than me and is more talented, but like he's gonna go through that. But yeah, he's not pitching till I'm saying till after the All-Star break next year. Like, yeah, he's just gonna be a DH, which is, he's fucking, if not one of the best hitters in baseball. Like that's what's so stupid about Shohei Ohtani, is that he is that good of a hitter, and also the guy throws 98. So like it's pretty crazy. To the All-Star game. Woo! July 16th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Fox at Globe Life Field. Yay. But your starters are in the American League, the catcher is Adley Rutschman, who that dude's just stupid. Love him. First base, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., probably going to be traded. I'm just saying, I've done it before and I've been right. I'm a little tentative about this one, but I think the Blue Jays are going to fire sale. I think they're gonna lose probably like 3 guys at least. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., one of them, Bichette being another one. We'll see if they pull any trigger on their relievers, but. Anyways, first base, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Second base, Jose Altuve, little Mighty Mouse, man. Love that dude. Trash bagging motherfucker. Allegedly, he was the only one. He was a shoeless Joe Jackson of the Astros. He did participate in the cheating, but allegedly. But he's going to start second base. It's his sixth election to the All-Star game. Shortstop is Gunnar Henderson, the Orioles. So the Orioles got 2 starters. Third base, Jose Ramirez of the Guardians. His third selection. Designated hitter is Jordan Alvarez, who, Jesus, I fucking hate lefties. I swear to God. Just fucking, I love hitting against them, but I hate pitching against them because they just fucking cheat. I don't know what it is, but they're just amazing. Outfield, Aaron Judge, weird, 6th election to the All-Star game. Juan Soto, another Yankee, his first All-Star game. And Stephen Kwan, of course, from the Guardians, I talked about earlier, to the National League catcher William Contreras, who has had, up until the last 10 days, one of the most amazing offensive seasons for a catcher ever. He is seriously cooled off. I don't know what's going on. Maybe he's a little dinged up or something and not saying anything, but he's going to start the National League at catcher. First base, Bryce Harper. He got elected, but he's not going to play because he's fucking hurt. So, oops. Second base, Cato Martell from the D-backs. His second election to the All-Star game. He's had a hell of a season. Nobody knows about, though, because he plays in Arizona. Shortstop, Trey Turner, his second All-Star game selection. He has had a rough go of it, but in the last 2 weeks, he has just been on a fucking tear. So good for him. Third base, Alex Bohm, Phillies, weird. He's crushing it. I think he's going to be in the home run derby as well. And designated hitters, of course, to be Shohei Ohtani. Yeah, outfield backup guy is going to be Christian Yelich, Jerkson Profar, of course, and Fernando Tatis Jr., who got suspended for PEDs because he used a rub that had testosterone in it, allegedly. Allegedly. Rumors as far as like the trade deadline and whatnot. It's pretty easy. You can kind of just look at the standing and see who's going to buy and sell. The Orioles are going to buy. The Guardians are going to buy. Mariners are definitely going to try and buy a bat. For sure. Who that is, I don't know. The National League, who's going to buy and sell? The Phillies are going to buy. The Brewers. Brewers are weird. They do weird shit. You know, they trade away like premium guys on their way to the playoffs. So I have no idea what they're going to do. The Cardinals are probably going to pick up the pitching. Go ahead, T.
The Brewers are always like, we just want more bites at the apple. We're never actually going to go all in on a year.
Right. Yeah. That kind of is the Brewers, isn't it? Yeah.
They just want to maintain having a good team for a long time. They never actually want to go all in.
Yeah, well, and
which is why they never won a World Series.
Right.
You know, I'd rather be like what the Texas Rangers are, where they won it all last year and then take a shit season the next year. I'd be fine with that.
Right.
To finally get a championship here. But
yeah, I don't.
They're never going to do it.
Yeah, probably not, unless somebody else changes the entirety of the front office. But I don't know. They might do something. The Cardinals are definitely going to try and pick up some pitching. The Pirates, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. They're in the mix. They're chasing a wild card, but I don't think they're willing to give up what they have. I think they're going to sit on Keller and sit on Paul Skeens and see what's going on. The Reds are just fucking atrocious. They're the Reds. And the Cubs, here's the funny thing. Well, they're terrible. They should sell. Sell what? What are they going to sell? There's nothing to sell. They're Cody Bellinger. Okay. No, he's shit. Yeah, they're not going to get rid of Shota at all.
I know they're not. I know they're not, but that is the one piece they have that would.
That's the one piece they have. Yeah, that's it. And so, the Dodgers definitely are going to move. They're going to move hard. That ownership is definitely motivated. Losing Mookie Betts hurts a lot. They're still hanging in there though, but I think they definitely help at shortstop. Definitely need help in the outfield, so they'll look to that. They're starting pitching, kind of all right, but I don't think they're panicking about that. I think they're more worried about the shortstop and the outfield. The Padres, they've been kind of motivated a lot, so they might make a move. It's kind of funny, you know. They traded Juan Soto, and everybody thought that team was done. They're going to start fire sailing that team. No, not so much. So I don't know. We'll see. It'll be interesting. You know, I can't wait for the All-Star game. I can't wait. We got one more week before we can make our bet, Pook, about the home run derby. And we're going to make a bet.
You won last year. That was lucky. You got lucky last year.
Yeah, I know.
You got lucky as shit.
That's all right. We'll do that again, but we'll make that again.
You picked some freaking name out of a hat last year, and ridiculous.
It happens.
It's just nonsense.
I have no idea what I'm talking about, but yeah. All right. So wrapping that up, Pook, who do you want to challenge next week?
I'm going to challenge somebody and give them a question.
You're going to give them 60 seconds. They got 6.
So hits. if it was, let's say it was Pops, it would be a racing Hall of Famer.
Right.
And if it was T, it'd be a hockey Hall of Famer.
Right.
And if it was you, obviously a baseball Hall of Famer.
Baseball, yeah.
All right, you want me to come at you, bro? Because there's a lot of baseball Hall of Famers.
It's up to you, man. It's up to you.
This is like to your disadvantage here, I believe. Honestly,
you might. I might not. I could absolutely get embarrassed, and I'm fine with that.
I don't think you're gonna get embarrassed just because, like, if I give you a softball, you're gonna get it. If I give you someone hard, it's gonna be like, who the fuck's that guy? You know,
Well,
I mean,
just
so
do it like I did. You just ascend the hints. So first one is vague, second one little.
I mean, that was. I
third,
mean,
fourth,
when
fifth,
you're talking to the guy who's born in 1964, he's all UFC Hall of Famer. There's a real short list
yeah.
of guys that age,
Yes.
right? There's a real short list of guys that age, right? And I mean, Coleman got into that. He was already an older fellow when he got into the MMA. You know, he was already. You know, I mean, who? It's a wrestled at Ohio State. Oh, we got Mark Kerr. We got, I don't even think Mark Kerr's in the Hall of Fame, UFC Hall of Fame. Maybe he should be. But you got, it's a real short list of guys. When you said Ohio State University, right? It was like, okay, born in '64, Ohio State University. Come on, man.
All right, who are you gonna pick?
So many.
Who are you gonna pick?
Well, I'm gonna. Of course, I'm gonna come at my freaking Yankee. You're wearing the Cubs hat, Yankees hat. You're wearing the Yankees hat in your heart, Playboy. Can't stop talking about Aaron Judge. Maybe to make this fair, it'll just be Yankees because there's that many Hall of Famers from the Yankees. Yeah, exactly.
They have their own
You're not
Hall
just
of
wearing
Fame.
it in your heart; you're wearing it on your head.
All right, man. Well, that sounds good. We'll do it. All right.
Hey, and I got apologies. I got apology to make to Minnie. A couple of weeks ago, he asked about Thug Rose fighting, and I was like, "Oh, she already fought." Well, the Pook didn't know what he was talking about because she's headlining next week.
Yes,
she's headlining next week, so we're going to talk about her next week when that fight happens. But
I am going to be.
Oh, but you could have heard the comment of our guest talking about whether she's a fighter or not.
Yeah, who's going to show up? Is it going to be Rose or is it going to be Thug Rose?
Right.
That's what War Rhino said. I'm hoping Thug shows up because that's my wife. That's my my girl.
Yeah, you better freaking hopefully your real
So
wife.
I'm going to be like, oh shit! So she better crush it. She better. I hope Thug shows up. Thug shows up, she wins. If it's just Rose, she loses. So we'll see, and I can't wait for it. I am psyched for sure. All right, we got to close it out, man. We're way long. Poop, go ahead. Final thoughts, brother.
All right, I can give you some final thoughts here. Minnie, if you're not on your 11th booster by now, you are not following the vaccine schedule. You need to seriously. You need to take this stuff serious, man. You got to take this stuff serious. I see where Canada's getting ready to have lunch.
Kamala's husband got the COVID today.
Oh,
really?
God.
Yeah, he's got like 8 boosters and he's still got it.
Huh.
Well, the booster doesn't stop transmission. It just mitigates your
Lies. Oh, lies!
If you happen to get COVID, you're better off for having the booster somehow. But you still can transmit and get the disease. But you still can.
Yeah.
But you need to get the shot for sure. For sure. You need
Fuck! Fuck! Oh! Okay.
Anyways, Pook.
Canada's rolling out these 15-minute cities. It's about damn time, man. It looks like we're headed for some clean energy here. We're going to have clean energy here. Electric cars. As inconvenient as they are, you should own one, Minnie.
I should
own one. Yeah, absolutely. And have you had some of Bill Gates' meat that's crafted in a vat? Because if you haven't, you need to get with the program. You need to start eating some of that lab-grown meat. Because we're going to save the planet.
Lab-grown meat.
I'm going to save the planet one lab-grown meat burger at a time.
Are you?
That's my plan, bro. That's my plan. I'm still driving that no good, low life and SO freaking gasoline vehicle. I'm ashamed. I want to hide my head about that. Yeah, I still got a gas vehicle, but I'm gonna have to fix it. I'm gonna have to remedy that somehow. So,
all right,
you guys got to get with the program. We're headed towards a one world government that's going to be You know, it has to be communist. Some kind of form of communism. It's going to be a kinder, gentler form of communism.
Is it?
Yeah, absolutely. You know,
it's worked out before. Yeah.
Well, it's going to be
They're
great.
Just
They're going to make
okay.
They're going to make a utopia this time. And and if you don't get with the program, they're definitely going to have FEMA re-education camps for your ass, and that's where you probably belong.
Lighten up, Francis.
All right,
brother. Good job, man. I love you. Thank you for making it. Appreciate it.
That's what you call it. Showing up freaking an hour late after the MMA.
You made it, dude. Though you made it though, and I appreciate it. I love you, man. Thank you so much. T, what you got? If the dogs aren't taking you over.
Well, one thing, baseball-wise, a cool little story. I don't know, Pops, Minnie, do you remember? Did you guys ever listen to Bob and Brian when you were here in Milwaukee? You remember that? Sports guy named Steve Zabin. He's got his own morning show now, and apparently he's never seen the movie Major League, and he's a sports guy. So the Lake Country Dock Hounds, Northwoods baseball team tonight has they're doing an event with the radio station that Zabin works for, and they're doing the movie Major League after the game's over.
Nice.
They're pulling out doing like the drive-in movie theater type deal after the game tonight. So I'm here doing this show, but it might have been fun to go out to that tonight. So doing a screening, and first time that the sports guy is going to see Major League, which I don't know how you can.
That's pretty cool. I like that
movie.
That's crazy. Never seen it.
Real quick, this has to be said. This needs to be said. This is final thoughts. I could say what I want. Joe Biden just had an off night. He's sharp as a tack.
Sure. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. He is completely fine.
Shit. I gotta send this to our.
Since I had a hiatus of my report, I will report that with Alex Flew, the name I could not remember. I just went completely brain farted. Alex Flew is the current leader of the standings. He's a two-time champion. Will Power is in second place. Paddle Ward, the famous Irishman, is in
from
third
Mexico.
place. Scott Dixon in fourth. Colton Herta is in fifth. So there's still some interesting standings going on there. Now this is be a real surprise to you folks, is that the race in Chicago is still going on.
Wow. All right.
We are 5 hours into the race in Chicago. And the race in Chicago is only supposed to be 75 laps long, but they are still on lap 9. They've had a bunch of rain interruptions, and they get ready to start, and they put the cars on the track, and then it starts raining again. So it is interesting to see exactly what they're doing. But it looks like Mr. Gibbs is now your leader. Bell is in second. Larson is in third. So it will be interesting to see exactly how the NASCAR boys come out of Chicago. So far, there has been no murders of any crew members. So my predictions have gone down the tube because I feared there was going to be some problem with members of the team, but that hasn't happened.
You remember Indy back in the day? That was scary too. Remember back in the day with Indy, on the streets of Speedway, which is
I figured
they
show up for the race and then
neighborhood in
the car's not there.
And there were places there, yeah.
All right, I got a little something here just because Pook had to bring by it and have it just.
I'm about to put it up just because I fucking love you guys.
I got it here.
You got it. Go ahead, do it.
Yeah.
Go ahead and play it.
We ran a poll, and every single person we polled thinks that you're a retard. We polled African Americans; they all say you're a retard. Hispanic Americans, also think that you're retarded. They call you El Retardo. We even actual retarded people, even they say you sound absolutely retarded. You see where this is going, Mr. President?
Well, I just had a bad night.
He just had a bad night.
No, you guys, he just had a bad night. He's sharp as a tack. You guys need to have some respect for the office.
And I'm winning a bet. I'm winning a bet. I'm waiting. I'm winning a bet because I bet I call him my first civ. He's my very good friend who's a civilian, and he lives here in Cincinnati, of course. And I had a significant amount of money that Joe was going to make it, and I'm about to collect on that. So other than that, though, thank you to Pook, thank you to War Rhino, thank you to Pops, thank you to Pterodactyl. Love you guys. Did a great show. Remember, never take a permanent solution to a temporary problem. Reach out. I know it's hard, not built into us, but the second you do, you're going to feel better and you're going to still be here. And be honest with you, the way the world's going, we need every veteran we have on point and ready to go. I don't care if you're part of the Fat Force. We still need you because you got good trigger discipline. Without further ado, have a good night. I love you all, and I'll see you next week.
I'm pretty tired. Think I'll go home now.
You're still here? It's over. Go home.